The year is 20XX. In order to combat the increasingly more greedy and difficult decks of the format, Loam itself has needed to adapt, becoming even greedier than ever. 4-color Loam is dead. Welcome to 5-color Loam. Alright, Phil Gallagher here. I'm really looking forward to playing this deck. Maybe a week or a week and a half ago, I got a donation from Anthony C. to go and play, quote, Connor's most recent deck list, end quote. So I messaged Connor yesterday. I'm like, hey Connor, what do you have for me? And he shipped me a list. And then this morning, or I guess last night for him, he sent me another list and he's like, no, wait a second. We can fit Nicole Boloth's Dragon God, or what is it, Dragon Pharaoh? No, Dragon God in there too. And he sent me this 5-color Loam deck list. So the cat's out of the bag that Oko is an amazing Magic card. So sticking it in Loam is not surprising. Mox Diamond allows this deck to get away with a lot in terms of mana, and we're going to see exactly how far we can push that. Recently, we've been seeing the Astrolabe decks playing 4 or 5 colors relatively unpunished, and we're going to see if we can do the same thing here. As far as the deck tech goes, I don't have much to say. We have all of the sweet cards from all of the colors that you might want to put into Loam. We have counterspells. We have the Monarch. We have one of the craziest planeswalkers ever printed. Plague Engineer, which is a degenerate Magic card. Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and you know we love Thalia on this channel. So let's just jump into it and see how this deck performs. Can we really get away with this level of greed? Legacy's an absolute blast right now, adoring the heck out of the format. I know some people are complaining about Oko, but it's not bothering me that much yet. The card is very, 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 very good. But I think it's acceptable as the top end of power level for Legacy. We saw it do some absolutely crazy things in the Legacy Premier League in the last week. Really, really impressive play from Jarvis and Autumn. I still have to go back and watch the final match of that set. I was tired and I didn't have time to Thursday night. I would like to play first. I'm going to keep this hand. A turn 2 Bob is good enough to make me keep. We're a little soft to a Wasteland, but I feel like that is going to be the case with most of the hands that we have with this deck. Ah, Greed Pile versus Greed Pile. I'm ready for the Greed Pile mirror. So we could be playing against something like Bant Miracles or something like that. It has become 5-color Loam now. So like we're +1 color. So like we have Knight of the Reliquary, we have Oko, we have Punishing Fire, we have all the colors. Nice. We only have 3 of our colors at this exact moment. I would love to just cast Oko here, but we don't have that luxury. I'm going to need to do that the other way. I think playing Sylvan Library is probably just as good as playing Knight that turn. But if I play Knight, it'll let me fix my mana and get something that can cast Oko. All right, opponent definitely on a greedy deck. That's been confirmed. Chalice of the Void seems good. So I can cast a Chalice of the Void followed by an Oko. That seems fine. When do I want to do all this? I could do it pre-combat, or I could attack with Bob first, but I don't really want my Knight to get swords mid-combat, but if that hasn't happened yet, it's probably not happening this turn. Yeah, so don't necessarily take this as a stock Legacy deck right now. This is definitely a brew. Gotta be some 1-mana removal spell over there. Right? Maybe not. I guess if they had the 1-mana removal spell, they would have removed the Bob on their turn. I guess I'm not 100% on what's going on over there. Well, everything I want to do is just happening. So I need a blue-producing land. So that could be Underground Sea or Tropical Island. Let's get a fetch first. Funny that you say that. I was actually talking with Connor and asking, like, hey, at what point do we just drop Chalice from this deck and put Astrolabe in it? But as far as what our opponent is playing, I like actually don't know what my opponent is playing. Like, they haven't made a play other than cantripping. Like, I thought it was going to be some sort of Miracles deck at first, but, like, we haven't gotten Terminus, we haven't seen a Swords to Plowshares. Like, are they just going to be like, oh, I was a Lurin this whole time, or something? Like, I just don't know. Oh. So that's what's happening. Well, we can abrupt decay that as soon as I draw another land. So this isn't actually all that big of a deal. I'll probably hold my Mox Diamond just to have flexibility in case I draw a non-mana producing land. I also will just get an attack every other turn by going like create a food and then attacking. So I have 8 cards in hand. So I guess I am incentivized to just play out a land, so I don't discard. Yeah, I started the video by making jokes about, it being the year 20XX and it's just greed decks fighting against each other. Sure, you can put back a brainstorm that can't cast. Oh, they've chosen not to do it. Seems smart. Hey, there's the exact thing that I wanted to play around. Yes, Greed Stasis is exactly the deck name I would choose for that deck. Like unless we get hit with a misdirection here, I feel like this game is over. Sweet, sweet untapping. Guess we could like get fogged. Yeah, I can't even fog us. We get a constant misdid. Okay, so I guess a counterspell's good. I guess drawing card's good. I guess Nicol Bolas is good, question mark. Maybe this. Oh yeah, we've gone real deep with this deck list. Connor shipped me a beauty. Okay, I don't think I want Maze of Ith. Could also probably cut a Wasteland. I don't know. Like, my opponent is playing an Astrolabe deck, but at the same time, they are going to have a lot of non-basics to fetch for these various things. I just don't know what all they're fetching for. Like, I just saw cantrips out of my opponent and, like, stasis. So, like, I don't know what all their colors are for. I think I'll trim a Wasteland. I don't think this is going to be the best opponent to grind out via Life from Loam. Honestly, the answer is probably Oko. Like, there's just probably a bunch of stupid Okos in there. Stealing their Astrolabes might be sweet. Yeah, Rouse Eric makes sense to me. These are really about the only things that I want to cut, so maybe I'm going a little too deep on some of this stuff. Like, what if I don't bring that in? You know, maybe I shouldn't bring in some of this intensive color stuff just in case I get blood mooned. Or back to basic. Turn 2, Sylvan Library. Turn 3, Dak Faden. That's Keeperino. Or turn to Bob. It's an interesting brainstorm. The Get Frog Monster, thank you very much for following. Hope you're enjoying the great levels of greed that I've got going on here. Sylvan Library or Bob first. I think I'm more inclined to play the one that has power and toughness first. Bob can probably be answered by more things. Like, if my opponent has removal spells over there. Okay, there's Daze in there. That's another thing that makes sense. That's all fine. Okay, there's Oko. So I can't Knight, but I can Dak Faden. So I can Dak Faden, steal their food, so they can't attack my Dak Faden this turn. So if I do that, it puts Dak at 1 loyalty. I could also just like Dak Faden plus and try to like loot into something that lets me put Knight onto the battlefield. I guess we'll see if this resolves before we go too deep into the tank. It does not. Opponent having 2 dazes for our initial plays is a little rough. And Knight of the Reliquary is like notoriously bad versus Oko. So this is no longer an artifact. So I can't just steal it with Dak now. Womp womp womp. So what's my plan for this thing? Drawing Abrupt Decay would be sweet. I think I should play towards that by playing out a Sylvan Library. Sure. So I tapped suboptimally on my turn. I could have left up just generic red. Oh, naturalize that. Sure. Yes, the Days Garuk Wildspeaker deck. We're all very familiar with it. Whatever. Like I can get the Garruk on my turn, and then I can Oko. I can deal with Oko via an Abrupt Decay later. So not the best draws here. So I'd like to cast Dak Faden, loot, find Abrupt Decay, kill Oko, then clog up the board so the food tokens don't get through. I'm asking a lot. Alright, so we will go red, blue, use that for our like colorless, so to speak. Hard cast Force of Will. I'll take 6, and then I don't think I have any outs after that. Alright. So we lost to threat plus double days there. That's totally understandable. We need the Elder spell. I don't think I don't think Cryptic Command is any crazier than some of the other things that they're doing over there. Turn 1 Bob. Turn 2 Oko. That's a keep. Okay, so I just need to make sure I keep. Alright, so Taiga is the land that is going to be pitched here, I think. I am not for the banning of either one of those cards at this moment. Yeah, alright, there's the Ralzeric that someone guessed earlier. There may come a time when those cards go the way of the Dodo, but I don't think that time is now. So I want to play my Oko and my Tropical Island around Days. Or sorry, I want to play my Oko and my Chalice around Days. Opponent did not have any counterspells, they were just F6'd. That's important information that you should not give away when you are playing a blue deck. To clarify, though, I do think Oko is probably the best thing to be doing in the format right now. Card is incredibly powerful. Nice. That is mine. You don't get it anymore. It belongs to me. Would you like to make a Jace or a Garruk that I will just bash with some Planeswalkers? What you got over there? Oh, you'd like to make a 3/3 beast, would you? Wall, more Oko. Huh. So I could exchange. I could give them back their Astrolabe and take their beast, but I don't think that's better than just like trading the Astrolabe or the food for the beast. Oh no, I can give them Chalice. That's hilarious. Let's do that. I choose Chalice. I choose your beast. Yeah, that's hilarious. I choose me. Ooh. So I thought I would just be sitting on this Oko, but now I'm sitting on a counterspell with 6 power in play and 2 planeswalkers. I am in. Don't concede, let me counter one of your spells. I was having fun. So this deck's cool. Kudos to my opponent for trying to make Stasis work in the year 20XX. I mean, I respect that. They can play an obscene number of enablers. Well, I guess support cards. I guess Stasis is the enabler. We have a pretty awesome hand. Like, we have 2 different good cards if our opponent is playing some blue mid-range pile, and we have a Chalice if our opponent is going and playing, like, some deck like Storm. I vaguely feel like my opponent was on combo the last time I saw them, but I don't remember. Too many people are using this avatar now, so it's hard to, like, place that. It is a bird. Do I want to give my opponent the opportunity to wasteland me? I don't really know what I want to fetch with this yet, so I kind of don't want to play it out. Bad news! So my opponent in chat is going, planes, planes, planes. Ooh. Opponent's doing something cool. Leovold. I do not care about Leovold at this time. Now I slightly care about Leovold. Oh, Dirty Dave TV, thank you very much for supporting my content. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for that. I hope you are enjoying this massive greed pile of a deck. It's possible that playing out Chalice is better than playing out Bob there. In that the Chalice protects Bob while also like stopping some of my opponent's cantrips. But I kind of want to get something on the board. I'm less afraid of my opponent's 1-drops right now than I am of, like, say, their 3-drops. Like, if my opponent is just playing, like, Turbo Oko, Turbo True Name Leovold.dec, like, the more 3-drops they drop, the more scared I am. Coiling Oracle. Revealing Noble Hierarch. Okay. Alright, so now I know what my opponent is playing. My opponent is playing this, like, mid-range, just blue-green value bounce creature deck. Had I known that, I 100% would have played that Chalice. Also, I now really care about the Leovold, because if this wasn't here, I could, like, Punish and Fire a Mana Dork or a Wirewood Symbiote and Wasteland the Sky as Cradle. I still might need to Wasteland the Cradle since it represents 5 mana. Which is pretty absurd. My opponent still has a lot of mana, though. Like, they have 4 mana showing plus more with Wirewood Symbiote activation, so I don't know that I'm actually supposed to go and take out the Cradle. The awkward thing is, though, that they have a Green Sun. So, if I let this Cradle stick around, who knows what that's going to go and get. If they don't have a Noble Hierarch, I can just Wasteland Cradle, give them a card, block Leovold with Bob, Punishing Fire Leovold, give them a second card to finish that off. Oh no, that's not going to work. Leovold is an elf, so it can be bounced with Wirewood Symbiote. Awkward. I think I'm in a losing position now. My opponent is still going to get to go and play something sweet. Like, I know they have the Green Sun, so they can get a piece of fat this turn. I can't remove any of their creatures. I'm going to be giving them extra cards. It'd be a totally different story if I played Chalice on 2. That is turn 2, not 2 mana. Fuck. Yeah. Alright. Go find something sweet with Cradle and end me. Oh, good lord. Yeah, I feel dead. Feel very dead. Okay. GG, opponent. That was disgusting. Plague Engineer on Elf. Get in here. Tabernacle. Oh, baby, I like it. And we can consider Containment Priest and Swords to Plowshares as well. Both are slightly awkward in that they're only going to deal with a portion of the deck. But might be fine. Like, let's figure out what I don't want. They have a bunch of small creatures, so Maze of Ith would mostly be for untapping my own Knight of the Reliquary, which has some use, but I can see that being a cut.
I can see my life total being pressured a decent amount by a bunch of idiots when I don't have some sort of start with removal. So I could see Sylvan Library going, at least one of them. So the thing about cutting Caracas is, if I'm going to bring in a couple of white cards, cutting a white source isn't the best idea. Like, I can cut another land. That's totally fine and something that I might do. If anything, I'd almost want to cut a cycle land. Just because a land entering the battlefield tapped is perhaps not the best for this matchup. So, like, maybe I can cut a thicket. I still want to have access to Loam. Maybe I can trim one. I don't know if they're going to have natural order as well as Green Sun. It would not surprise me, so this priest may be a nice surprise. Yeah, my setup time might be too much for this deck. Alright, so maybe I'll cut the other library. I've cut 2 lands, so I don't want to cut a third. Maybe let's trim a Dak Faden. Actually, maybe Dak Faden is just worse than Life from the Loam, because Life from the Loam, in theory, can bring back Cabal Pit and Blast Zone and give me another way to get established. I would like to play first. Oh, we are so close to greatness. So close to greatness. I am going to ship this one, though. Like, if I don't hit my turn 2 land, I feel like I'm just 100% dead. This one I will keep. I'm gonna need another land. But I can just, like, ignore this Mox Diamond. Just send that back and have a fistful of decently powerful cards. I can Abrupt Decay the first Mana Dork. I can Abrupt Decay the first threat that's played. And then, like, hope that one or both of these cards is good enough to, like, let me jockey for position to play an actual game. So this doesn't look like a good play. I am taking this play in consideration of 2 different things. 1, my opponent may have Gaia's Cradle in hand. 2, they could have had a 1-lander where they were planning on tapping Tropical Island and then bouncing it to redeploy it. I mean, I guess it feels really bad to, like, use a Liliana to get rid of a Coiling Oracle. I could just play out the Knight of the Reliquary this turn. And, like, slow my roll on this Liliana, planning on using the Knight of the Reliquary to get Tabernacle ASAP. This deck list came from Loamer Boy, aka Connor Fulse. He's one of the most active 4-color Loam players. He'll happily share the list, or if you shoot me a message on, like, Twitter or something, I can send it to you as well if you want a deck list file. Oh, no, wait, we have the awesome Cardboard Live. You can just, like, copy it off screen. God, I love Cardboard Live. Dump some creatures into play for me to Tabernacle, friend. Oh, now that's pretty good. So let's float a mana. Activate this. Let's find Tabby. My opponent has dropped the oh crap into the chat. I'm gonna give him a heart. So we're not worried about the size of our Knight of the Reliquary. We're more worried about having lands both in play and in hand for like sacrificing to Knight and plussing with Lily, respectively. Nice. Good job, Knight. I may also just start like wastelanding my opponent into oblivion. Since they have all these like cantripping idiots, it's possible that I need to focus on... Oh, that doesn't get Abrupt Decayed. Can you play another card to protect it now? If so, I will happily decay just about whatever it is. I just want to say that we've run into Garruk Wildspeaker 2 rounds in a row. Opponent begging for the no lands off the dredge. Come on, 2 lands. Alright, so I'm a 3/3. So I can activate Blast Zone. No, I can't. Oh, that's so awkward. So it costs 3 to activate this, and this isn't a mana-producing land. So I can whack Garruk down to 1 and just like have it be a mana dork. So close, so close. Opponent is claiming that Tabernacle is a real problem card. Yeah, I imagine so. So we are going to have a very big boy night. Next turn, in all likelihood. we have my opponent's board and hand under pressure. We also just like blast zone if they play out a bunch of idiots. So if they have natural order, they can go like fetch, ride, or natural order, like try to stick some big threat, but then like Lily just takes care of it. So what can beat me? A Sigarda Host of Herons would be pretty okay, I guess. All right. Ooh, that's actually pretty darn good. So they can eat both of my life from the Loams and protect Garrick. Not bad, opponent. Not bad at all. Ooh, that's a draw. No. Oh no, I have 5 in graveyard now because my opponent ate 2. Ah. Ah. So I can activate Knight. Alright, I can let them have the Garrick for another turn. So I can activate Knight, get a fetch land, and still kill the ooze. I think that's worth it. So what land am I getting? So I'm gonna get fetch plus another land. Could get Underground Sea. I would like to take both permanents off the battlefield this turn. Oh no, I don't get both permanents off the battlefield this turn. Duh. Because I tapped the Knight to do this. Okay, it's -3 to make a beast, right? No, oh god, it's -1 to make a beast. That's a slight annoyance. We'll start ticking this up to deal with an Oko. So cool thing here, since my opponent has removed the ability from Knight of the Reliquary, that makes it pay for itself via Tabernacle, due to how layers work. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely doing work. Wouldn't have expected to say that, but here we are. Just having something else that can create 3/3s alongside Oko is pretty strong. Garrick also mitigating the power of Tabernacle as well. Okay. That's a thing. But now I'll just put 2 counters on Blast Zone and destroy the Garrick instead. Okay, now I guess I just tick the Blast Zone up to 3. And give myself the possibility of destroying an Elk if I need to. Yeah, I guess we can pay for that. Just have this for a blocker if we draw a Planeswalker. Sure, don't so much care about that. Am I willing to just trade Blast Zone for an idiot here? I think so. And then I can just like save the Abrupt Decay for next turn. Still leave this for one more turn. That's not the best draw. I guess I need to look and see if I have Dryad Arbor in this deck. I do not have Dryad Arbor in this deck. I will take the damage again. Again, if I can draw a Planeswalker and keep it alive via blocks, that's pretty strong. Ugh. I guess I should actually tap this Caracas. Leave myself with more colors. I mean, it's a draw. It's certainly not good at 6 life. My opponent has access to a whole bunch of redraws. And just the bigger creature as well. So I'm 100% willing to make that trade so we don't get more Elvish Visionary bounces. It's not the elves we care about. It was the Oko and the Garruk Wildspeaker. A flyer is a problem. A flyer with power is a problem. Or is it? So I guess I name Fairy and kill the Scrib Ranger. And then I can trade with the Beast. Alright, alright. Haha. I'm still in this. I'm not saying life's good. It's not. But we've got hope. There's still an Elvish Visionary redraw in there. Ooh, my opponent failed to float mana. Oof. So, small mistake, but it is costly. I wish I could have had the luxury of putting this Plague Engineer on Elf. Oh yeah, please hold back. Please hold back. Give me time to set up. Rats. I wonder if this is the turn where I'm supposed to chump block with Noble Hierarch. I'm not going to. But I don't think it's crazy. Oh, thank you very much for the bits. Tropical Island. Not really what I'm looking for. Opponent still has 4 cards over there. Oh, Haddock Teague and Nathan80, thank you very much for following. I missed those. I still have my headphones plugged in from when I was doing casting for the Legacy Premier League. Get that again. Yikes. Yeah, I don't think you can afford an Arbor in this 5-color list by like any stretch of the imagination. but it would have been good this game. And we get a redraw. And the world hates Paul. Thank you very much for your support as well. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. Chalice of the Void is a little late to the table here. I mean, obviously, I'll take it. So now I get a chump block on a beast token, and then I have to figure. Not even. Just force a vigor me. And Cafeo, as well as KM Bright Bill. Thank you very much for your follows as well. Let's take a second here and switch some audio settings around so I can actually hear those things. Whoop. Much better. A tropical arbor, the 1/1 elf merfolk forest island. Oh. Winter orb. Lovely. This is fine. This is fine. I guess I'll untap a black source for Abrupt Decay. What a crazy match, folks. What sort of anti-Garrick Wildspeaker tech do we have? I don't know. Obviously, it's dominating the format. We've played against it 2 rounds in a row. Maybe we need the Elder Spark or something like that. Yeah, I guess. We need some Vindicates. All right, folks, I'm going to take 30 seconds and run to the restroom. I'm going to try to run an ad. They changed some Twitch settings around. So I think if you're a subscriber, you won't get an ad. But if you aren't, enjoy an ad about something random. Alright, here we go. We're back in things. Let's play a match. Hope the ad wasn't, like, too weird or anything. Hopefully I'm not, selling you on, like, adult diapers or something strange like that. Oh, nice. And by running an ad, I disable pre-roll ads for 20 minutes for anyone else joining the channel. Awesome. Well, that's cool to know. They changed a bunch of stuff on the back end recently. So when I booted up the stream this morning, sort of like the streamer back end has looked totally, totally different than it ever has before. Which is kind of cool. You would have told me this morning that I would have played against 2 Garrick Wildspeaker decks in a row. I don't know what I would have said. So thoughts on the decks so far? Mana doesn't seem that bad. We've had some mana problems, but not really all that bad. 4-color Loam trips over itself a little bit on some of the hands where like you don't have a Mox Diamond or a Loam or something to fix it. So mana doesn't feel like considerably worse than most other versions of this deck that I've played previously. He says as he mulligans a hand with 2 colorless lands. This is going to be a keep. And we're just going to throw back one of the lands here. I'll probably just be leading on Verdant Catacombs. Elves? Noble Hierarch. Could be Infect, could just be another, like, turn 2 Oko deck. One of the things that I said in a recent Twitter post was that, like, if everyone is playing these Okos, you just want to be the one who can play one first. So I think mana acceleration is really good right now. I was specifically referring to Carpet of Flowers at the time, but the same is true of Mana Dorks. You know, like we've seen Bird and Noble Hierarch 2 rounds in a row. We are on 5-color Loam. Okay, it is Infect. This Punishing Fire will probably be pretty good then. Ooh. This is now slightly awkward. Now that they have a second threat. Maze of Ith will be so good if I can find the time to get it into play. I mean, I believe that. Oka is the best card in multiple formats right now. Well, maybe not like the literal best card, because, you know, brains... Ooh, that's a draw. So now I can play a Punishing Fire around a Daze, and now I just have to ask myself, when do I want to do this? Oh no, I don't have to worry about Daze anyway. Okay, so here's the thing. If they just have it, like if they have, like, so they get to attack for 3 with an infect creature. If they just have it, like if they have double Invigorate or Invigorate Berserk or equivalent, I just die. Because if I like wait for their turn, they put the like triggers on the stack and I Punishing Fire them, I'm in bad shape. Because like they just respond with a pump spell and I lose anyway. So I think it's better to play Knight of the Reliquary this turn and set up getting a Maze of Ith. I guess I could get Taiga and just have a lot of variety of mana costs here. It's a pretty great force of will for my opponent if they have it. All right. I am officially scared now. Ask Ace, thank you very much for following. I hope you're enjoying the content. Wasteland, also pretty great for our opponent here. So we're just taking 8 infect here. Man, if scale up, like the only sorcery speed pump spell they have, if I knew I was playing around that, then, like, I could have done something differently. Like, then the Punishing Fire would have been great. Like, they cast Scale Up, and I just, like, totally blow them out in response and only take 3 infect. So now I just need them to not draw a pump spell this turn as a starting point. Or a Daze. Or a Spell Pierce. Opponent makes a good attack here in that, like, 2 damage is lethal. So attacking with this way or attacking with just 1 creature is nice. So this way plays around a Punishing Fire. So I want to give my opponent credit where credit is due here. Okay, well, alright, you got it all. Well, my hand looked great. It did not work out. We'll take various removal spells here. So Swords of Plowshare is good. Plague Engineer is good. Can consider this counterspell. Yeah, like, it gives us something else to, like, fight with mid-combat, but I think it's a little clunky. I think my libraries are probably going to be too slow for this matchup. Let's start by cutting those. I'll probably cut a Loam and a Thicket for similar reasons of just being slow. Is Tabernacle actually good? I guess, because it's not that good against, like, an infect threat that's played out, but it's good against the Noble Hierarchs. I guess it's fine as a tutor target. So, like, maybe I'll trim just one other land. I can see Dak Faden also getting cut just for being slow. Yeah, I think I'll try this. Yes, this is fine. So this hand is not well suited to fighting Ink Moth Nexus. But it's probably pretty good against most of the other starts that my opponent can have. Yeah. Layers are one of those things that don't come up as being like hyper relevant most of the time. Most of the time you're like, yeah, that's how it works. And then like something like Oko and Tabernacle comes up and it's like, wait, why is this elk not paying for Tabernacle? Oh, that's so strange. So the next thing we're going to want to do is find pressure. And that pressure can be in the form of a planeswalker, it can be a creature. I'll take just about anything. I need something to do with my mana. I'm going to give my opponent 1 life rather than fetch. I have enough different mana requirements in this deck, and my opponent has a Wasteland, where I just want to like hold this for as long as possible. Sure. I kind of hope they Wasteland me. So that I can have this annoying Tabernacle around. I do wonder how many Wasteland my opponent is playing. Yeah. Alright, so Tabernacle protected my Grove of the Burn Willows. That's what it did. Now we see if we die. I feel like we have a huge advantage if my opponent can't either kill me or do like 7+ infect this turn. We have plenty of answers to creatures. Some of them we can use multiple times. My opponent has like done a pre-combat fetch without doing anything else, which kind of makes me think that like they're going to go for it this turn. Like we might just see like a Become Immense or something like that. Alright, you have the Invigorate. Do you have the Berserk? That doesn't matter. Become Immense does. And that's 11 infect. Rough. Alright, not the strongest start to the league. Infect has started to come back a little bit. I've run into it a few times in leagues. It's something that like goes under Oko very well. Like if your opponent just taps out for a turn 3 Oko, like they might already be dead before that even happens. Or you have things like Spell Pierce, Daze, Vines of the Vastwood that like deal with it in various ways. Oh, actually, Infect is very, very favored versus Death and Taxes. That's a great match for them. Yeah, I do want to say, like, my opponent did play well. Like, there were a couple of little things that they did that were very important, like the turn that they played around Punishing Fire by making a good attack. So Control for Days is a Storm player, in which case we want to, like, mulligan for something disruptive rather than for something mid-rangey. Let me just, like, confirm that their most recent results are still with Storm. Specifically Ant. Yep. We're going to try to mulligan to something that can produce a Chalice or has mana acceleration. This is like the same as the last hand. Let's mulligan one more time. Yes. This is not where I want to be. But this is where we're going. I just think keeping a hand that is reliant on a turn 2 Bob as your best play is just super questionable against Ant when you know you're playing against it ahead of time. I 100% would have kept both the 7 and the 6 against an unknown opponent. Nice. You know, a land, obviously, best possible draw off the top there. Now, like, we're going to get to play our best disruptive game 1 card into both a threat and a draw engine on 2. That's incredibly potent. Can't overstate how good this is for us. Oh no, Burning Wish for shenanigans. Oh god. That's very good. Maybe we'll make them use a Lotus Petal in order to deal with that. We did. Come on, Bob, find me another Chalice. Bobo? It's not Chalice at all, Bob. You have one job. So, my opponent may just be playing Ant or with a couple of Burning Wishes, or they may be playing some like hybrid Tess Ant deck, or they may just be playing Tess. Unsure at this time. I do know that Burning Wish for shenanigans is something I'm going to need to keep in mind for the post-sideboard games. Ooh, are we bricking on lands? Nice. Always yes. Always yield. Yes. Put on top. Put on top. We don't need that many knights. I want to get something that will let me cast Liliana of the Veil when coupled with Mox Diamond. Let's get Underground Sea to... No. Well, I could get Underground Sea, but then I have to like give my opponent life, which I think is going to be super relevant. Let's get Bayou. Note that getting Bayou also means that I have something that I can pitch to Knight of the Reliquary if I need to go and get Tabernacle for Empty the Warrens. So opponent was Brainstorm locked last turn. They get a little deeper this turn. Let's see if they get through it. Oh, they don't get through it. And they know they are Brainstorm locked and concede. We had a little bit of play that game. Pretty happy about how things went, all in all. Oh, Tabernacle was in the sideboard the whole time. Alright, Thalia, good. Leyline and Engineer for Goblins, probably good. Veto, good. Tabernacle's probably questionable. I will consider it, but I don't know that I'm actually going to end up playing that. Alright, so what did Connor previously do against Storm? Punishing Fires, that's the easiest of easy cuts. Maze of Ith, that's going to be an easy cut after that. Blast Zone is not going to do anything against the cards that you're normally seeing. We can definitely cut a life from the Loam and kind of go from there on like cutting actual cards after that. So things that I'm thinking about cutting are Dak Fadens and trimming some number of Abrupt Decays. I could also consider cutting one more land. But like every land you draw is important when you're considering that like Mox Diamond is also acceleration, and that we're a giant greed pile, so anytime you cut an actual colored source from your deck, it does matter. So like Dak Faden can steal artifacts that are played out. It can also just loot away my irrelevant cards into relevant cards. Abrupt Decay basically only tags like a Lion's Eye Diamond or Lotus Petal that's played out. Although I guess there's also Wishclaw Talisman to think about now. Though that one's slightly awkward. Like if I just junk my ability to deal with a Lion's Eye Diamond that's played out and do this, it leaves me a little glutted at the 3-drop slot, especially since I'm adding Plague Engineer. Let's maybe cut the other life. Recurring Wasteland still does things. Bernhardt's, thank you very much for throwing your Twitch Prime money this way this month. I really do appreciate it. The support means a lot to my channel and content. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put 2 of those out there. Means that it just can't be, like, bounced with Chain of Vapor without sacrificing a land or something like that. The only reason to keep the second one is for Dak Faden reasons. Alright, so our Chalice is gone, so we've lost the best portion of our hand. That's okay. You don't mulligan to beat discard. We still have, like, hate cards in play. I did accidentally borrow mismatching ley lines, though. I really like the M20 ley line art. There's nothing wrong with this. This is sweet, too. But this just looks like an awesome, awesome ley line. Basic Forest? Basic Forest? Goodbye, Oko. I'll miss you. Okay. So I think we're getting scrubland here. So scrubland lets us play top deck Thalia and also cast the Bob. So let me say, I'm not saying this as a joke, but does my opponent have like Oko in their deck? Like, I'm trying to understand what this basic forest is for. Oh, I see. I've always considered like Veil and Abrupt Decay and things of that nature just like a splash card, so it's not worth having a basic for. But like, I guess that's totally reasonable. Like my opponent is a very experienced Storm player, so I'm not questioning. I'm just trying to understand. Like just Oko Elk your Chalice, Oko Elk your other Chalice, go off is pretty sweet. No, we don't need more land. I said we don't need more land. That one's more acceptable though. That one does something. Oh, I could have played around this exact line by playing a different land over Grove of the Burn Willows on a previous turn. Now I can't hard cast these ley lines because I've already played a land. Although my opponent would have just fetched end step and done this. Like, had I had access to the second black. Alright, doesn't matter too much. No more land. At least we didn't hit that off the Bob. Good morning. We'll be winning this one on, like, the absolute slimmest of margins if we do win. Zombie Fried Chicken, thank you very much for following. I hope you're enjoying the Loam content here. It's been a little while since I've hard cast a ley line. Alright, this looks like a going for it turn if they are fetching non-basics. Now what? So Storm counts 5. This ain't that greedy. I don't know. Like, I could be greedier, but I feel pretty greedy. We're just getting goblinsed. Oh, wow. That is greedy. So is this just an empty, or do they have a deterministic kill? I don't know, like, what's in their sideboard. Like, if they have an Infernal Tutor in their sideboard, or equivalent, things could be a little weird. But it probably has to be Infernal Tutor. Okay, yeah, it is just an empty. Okay, we have like 3 outs to that, plus knights to find said outs. Man, we're real good at finding lands this game. uh, all right. Oh man, you're right. Yeah, I played the wrong art tabernacle. I showed them this one earlier. No, this is why you don't play with mismatching cards. Oh, the minor percentages totally matter. I'm willing to take a couple of hits off the goblins and like not just trade away Bob. Bob's still really valuable here. Oh, I'm hitting Q. Sorry, new keyboard. Athalia, beautiful. No, don't need to dredge. Still hitting lands anyway. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, 6 mana. So I could play Leyline and Thalia this turn. The third Leyline doesn't really do anything, though, if we're being honest. So I'll just play Thalia and hold up Caracas. And we're going to always yield to Goblin token things. That's fine. Yeah, I was pretty confused about the basic forest, too. I was speculating that my opponent might have Oko. Also, real questions, like, how many Verdant Catacomb fetchables do I have left in my deck? I am just going to, like, fetch to make sure I still have some fetchables, as stupid as that sounds. Am I supposed to just, like, wasteland my opponent into oblivion now? And just, like, put on the pressure that way? No, the P-Fires are all on the sideboard. Nah, I'm just going to take draws. I've drawn an absurd number of lands this game. And just like keeping in mind how many I've actually drawn, I think it is just better to take actual draws out of my deck. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, like 16 mana sources have been removed from my deck. I already sided out too. It's very common for this deck to sideboard out 1 or 2 lands. Like you just remove the utility lands that aren't particularly good in the matchup. And I guess this is actually probably my worst land, so I should be tapping that one. And just to be clear that I'm not missing something, yes, I know I can bounce my Thalia and redeploy it to play around taking damage from these goblins, but then I will expose my Thalia to a removal spell, which I think is far scarier than like the little bits of damage that I'm taking from these goblins. Yeah, so I trimmed a Blast Zone and Maze of Ith. Neither one of those is particularly going to do something. Alright, opponent gets to find something fun. Could be Tendrils, could be an answer to Thalia. I'm not so like even if I go to 8 next turn, I'm not sure what 2 cards win them the game. If they massacre, I bounce Thalia. So they'd have to like massacre and ad nauseum successfully from 3. They can't flip a win condition to that. Well, I guess they could like flip LED, 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 and Infernal Tutor. Ah, give me another land. My body's ready. Oh, that's pretty good. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can just play it on X equals 4. That seems better. Wait, no, all the storm copies still happen, right? So that's not actually as good as I thought. So 0, 1, or 2, I guess, makes sense. 2 stops Burning Wish. I think 0 and 2 are the best options. Actually, 2's slightly awkward, because now if my opponent can, like, bounce my Thalia with an Echoing Truth, I can't redeploy it. That may have been a mistake. Huh. Yeah, I think I should have played on 0. Alright, there ended up being a lot more wiggle room to this game than I expected. Yeah, so my opponent should sacrifice the Goblin there to maximize their chances of actually getting through. Yeah, Jerry, will you message me and tag me again on Twitter? I put together a deck list that I'm going to be playing in the challenge this weekend. So I do have a deck list. So very, very happy to ship you that. No problem. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of time playing D&T in the previous week, so I didn't have a deck list ready, but now I have something. Just tweeting at me is fine. I'll hit that after the stream. Let me leave myself a note here. Check Twitter. I mean, we're 2-2. Decks felt pretty good. We just queued into Garruk Relentless twice. The 3-2 dream is alive. Deck feels fine though. Like, honestly, we've had really interesting and engaging matches. Even the one against Storm felt really good. And by that I mean, like, it was super interactive. Yeah, I am Mangara Lock on Twitter. I think I will dredge this Loam. If I hit a Wasteland, it's kind of sweet. So I hit Verdant Catacombs. So I can't... Okay, so here's one of our first turns where we have real mana problems. I can't Oko or Knight this turn. I can do it next turn, though. So we'll just get back our Verdant Catacombs and pass. We have to be satisfied with a turn 3 Oko or Knight. I mean, it is a huge price here, right? Scavenging Ooze. That's pretty good, opponent. I will Dredge again. So I'm gonna like, well, maybe I won't. Because if I drop Punishing Fire, I can just like Punishing Fire, Ooze, and then decay the Mox Diamond this turn. And I think that's really strong. I still can hit a land drop this turn, yeah. So I'm just gonna take a draw. I found Grove instead, which is still fine. So I don't want this Ooze to make it around the table. I think I'm fine with like elking it and then probably just playing Knight to block in the next turn cycle. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Alright, so let's look at my lands here. Tropical Island contributes to both Knight and Oko, so we'll get that. Blue, colorless, green. You're an elk. I made your creature bigger. Aren't you happy? In case it's not immediately obvious, we're elking the Ooze so that we can keep our graveyard from going. Yeah, it's good greed. Peter Hone, thank you very much for following, as well as Razamarth. I missed you earlier. Hope you're enjoying this very greedy content. Ooh, Sylvan Library is a good Magic the Gathering card. I suppose I will go ahead and Dredge. Try to grow Knight above Ooze, and we found Punishing Fire. That's not bad at all. So I can go... I can Knight and Abrupt Decay. So I just need to go, like, green, colorless, white. No, this is Connor's Brew, Loamer Boy. Alright, so now we have the bigger creature. We'll make a food, and we are getting this Sylvan Library the heck out of there. If we had one more mana, we could also pick up our Punishing Fire. But we don't quite have that luxury. Ooh, Liliana's Triumph's pretty darn good there. I was not expecting that card. Alright, Oko becomes smaller. Fool! You've chaliced on 1 against me. It does nothing! Yeah, cool chalice, bro. So I'll bob. I'll make an elk to trade with their elk. Guess I'll pick up some lands. Yeah, mana absolutely perfect now. Take a look at this. We have all the colors. Just forget about that turn 2 where we couldn't Oko or Knight. Get in there, bud. Yeah, but in all seriousness, like, if you lose a turn of tempo to have perfect mana, that's totally acceptable by modern deck building standards, right? Like, so many people are playing Astrolabe right now for that exact reason. I don't think I need more lands currently. I said I don't need more lands. I don't think I want to Abrupt Decay their Mox Diamond or anything like that currently. I'd rather save that for real cards. Just put another Grove into play. And then ship the turn. I'm going to get to pick up Punishing Fire and Punishing Fire them. Unless they play something I can just kill with Punishing Fire. Alright, they have a Toxic Deluge incoming. Let's see. So I can pay 2 mana, cast this, return it, pay 2 mana, cast it, and kill the Courser. Alright, so now that they've gained the life, I will go and get yet another red source and return the Punishing Fire. This deck is so sweet. Again, don't think we need more lands. A Chalice. Chalice is fine. I'm not sure what I put it on. I maybe don't even cast it. Problem with putting a Chalice on 3 or 2 is that it shuts off like way too many of my cards. I think I'm just gonna like let that one ride. Like if I don't put it on 3, I just like let my Bob die. But I'm so far ahead on resources that I think I just let I think I just take the 1-for-1 trade and be perfectly happy with my Punishing Fire. Engine is a way to kill them. Nice. Alright, now we have a real card. I don't think I need to steal their Mox. I think I'd rather loot. I should get that command on this channel. Here, opponent, have some life. Sure. ThrabenU is a powerful Magic the Gathering card. We're kinda on autopilot at this point. Now I would like to find a wasteland, because I think about the only thing at this point I can lose to is a Merit Lodge. Yeah, we have that covered. We're playing with our food. Why didn't you abrupt decay the ThrabenU before I did that? We'll just discard 2 lands. Yeah, this is kind of silly. We'll see if my opponent's done with me yet. Shame concession? Shame concession? No shame concession. I can play with my food for however long you want. No. No. We'll put that on top. We'll put that on top. We don't need those. Alright, they're done with me. They're done with me. So my opponent is essentially just playing like a junk mid-range Dark Depths deck. I hesitate to say that they're turbo depths, given like the pace of play of that game, but that's kind of what we're looking at. They have more mid-rangey elements, like Knight of the Reliquary and Sylvan Library than usual. So I see Swords of Plowshares being fine. I see Plague Engineer just being a Death Toucher being fine against things like Knight of the Reliquary. I don't think I want to go Leyline levels of deep. I definitely want to cut those. That's my starting point. Like, we saw when I drew Chalice this game that I just, like, did not cast it, even though I had, like, a billion mana available. I don't know that I'll sideboard any more than this. Like, Dovin's Veto is interesting because it'll stop, like, Liliana's Triumph and, like, potentially some Planeswalkers that my opponent has. But I feel like most of the cards that are in my deck are fine. I guess Punishing Fire is medium. But it's good in the early turns before Elvish Reclaimer gets big and such, and it's good late game when I can just double cast it in a turn to kill things like Courser of Kufrix. Oh man, Arkin, thank you very much for this huge, huge host. Hey everyone, Phil Gallagher here, playing, you know, a very normal Legacy deck, 5-color Loam. And we're being compelled by chat to board in Nicol Bolas Dragon God for the justification of, quote, reasons, end quote. Alright, so, like, what do I board out if I bring this in, though? Because I think every card in my deck. Ultrama Punishing Fire. Alright, for the chat. We'll be keeping this hand. We have a Mox Diamond for acceleration. The old 61 card special. We could do that too. That would totally be fine. What do you got for me? Green Sun for probably Elvish Reclaimer. Oh, Elvish Reclaimer. You're getting Punishing Fired. I was really hoping to play tap Baron more. Oh, Arkin, thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. You know, both for the sub here and for the big raid. I think I need to fetch Bayou this turn, because Bayou contributes towards both of these, in the hopes that I spike another colored land. So I can actually play one of them next turn. Because if I play Blast Zone, oh no, I guess I could have waited. It would have worked out the same way. Nice. Am I Okoing first or Lilying first? If I Lily and Plus, I'd get rid of, I guess, Baron more. And then next turn I play Blast Zone and Oko. So if I play Oko this turn, I can Elk the Mox and then Lily minus the following turn. It's a little weird, but I kind of like it. It's slightly awkward if they play a creature on their turn. If they fetch and slam a knight, it's a little weird for me. But if they don't play a creature, I feel like we're probably close to 100% to win the game. Wow. All right. Good stuff. Oh yeah, the black-white Ewok stream. That was very enjoyable Magic. I've got another sort of interesting brew coming up as well. I'm going to be playing a Death and Taxes and Eldrazi hybrid deck pretty soon. Plague Engineer is just great. You know, a little overshadowed by Oko currently, but that card does a serious degree of work. I think I'm doing okay on colored mana, so I'm just going to keep the Blast Zone around in case I need it. I think I'm just going to be playing Taxes in the quarterly. Oh, right, we need to plan ahead for drawing Nicol Bolas. That's right. We are 2-2 currently, in all likelihood about to become 3-2 for the league. I haven't activated this Oko yet, right? Do I need my Mox Diamond? I might need my Mox Diamond. Actually, I'm not going to play another Bob into a Toxic Deluge. Titania. Nice. That's right, we need the Mox Diamond to cast Bolas. How could I forget? I guess opponent thinking if there's anything they want to wasteland us off of. Real talk, in the slot where Bolas is, the Karn that makes construct tokens might be better. Like, just because of the food you can produce in the Mox Diamonds and the Chalices. Teneling? Question mark on pronunciation there. If you check out my YouTube channel, Thraben University, you can check out my black-white taxes list. I think it was from about a week ago. So, generally speaking, Plague Engineer is a better Magic card. The only way Orzhov Pontiff is better is if you're going and playing a whole bunch of Cavern of Souls. You want me to sacrifice a creature? Sure. So I have 3, 6 damage. 6 damage would put them at 7. I can lethal them next turn. Let's just junk a Bob. I already activated both of these, right? Yes, I did. Oh, let's play out one creature. White, green, some other color. I didn't leave that up in a way that left up Cabal Pit. I don't think it matters. I have Abrupt Decay up anyway for like any permanent my opponent could play. Okay, so we ended up with a 3-2 this league. The deck did not feel too greedy. There were a couple of times where we couldn't cast cards, and it's kind of crazy to say that. But this isn't unreasonable. So I think Karn, Scion of Urza in this slot is a good replacement. So we didn't get to put this in play, unfortunately. It's it's a little greedy, even by this deck's standards. It is sweet though, but I think Arkin's suggestion there is really good. So like we have 8 main deck artifacts plus 2 Okos that can go and produce extra. I think if you just go like Karn minus into Karn minus, you can create some pretty big creatures quickly. This can do some silly things sometimes, especially if your opponent is playing Planeswalkers. But I don't know that I want to play the 5-mana Walker when like 3-mana Walkers are very, very dominating in the format right now. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm thinking about right now. So again, thank you very much to Anthony C. for supporting this league and the donation for it. So Monday night, I will be playing sort of an Eldrazi and Death and Taxes hybrid. You think Marchesa should be a Notion Thief? Notion Thief. Oh, that's super cute. I don't know that it's actually good, though. So, like, you have the potential for the Notion Thief Dak Faden combo in this deck, but you're not built specifically to do that, so I don't know how often you're going to assemble it. And you're already pretty good at, like, pounding the blue decks, right? Like, you have Chalice, you have a whole bunch of Planeswalkers, you have Punishing Fires to grind through. I don't know that Notion Thief is something that's necessary. So I don't know about that. Yeah, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's content. It doesn't look like we have any other Legacy streams up currently. There's 2 streams that say they've been active for 14 or 15 hours. Anyone playing Vintage that I can host? Why does it say that everyone has been active for 15 hours? I wonder if there is some bug with MTG streams currently. It looks like everyone has been streaming, like, forever. So that's kind of weird. All right. I guess it's a shame, but I don't know that I'm actually hosting anyone here. Folks, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and if you're not already following and you love Legacy, please consider following. Cheers. Enjoy your weekend.